Okay, hey everybody, welcome to Chiustream. It's been a little while, but I'm back. Had to do some traveling, had to do a bunch of things. There's been so many things going on um, that kind of derailed the regular streams for a bit, but glad to be back. So let's get started. So what I have here is um, I have an exercise, okay, that I'm hoping that we can all do together. I asked on the streams or on my Facebook the other day at facebook.com/bobby.chiu, Chiu, where I was asking for people to give me some topics that they'd like me to talk about. And one of the biggest topics was all about confidence. Now, confidence in what? So I wanted to just kind of explore all the different kind of aspects of confidence. Confidence in your drawings, confidence in your, when you're drawing, to have that confidence, confidence in your own art when you present it to people, confidence when you're talking to people. I think that I'm going to be a very good candidate for talking about this topic because I wasn't born like a confident, super confident person. I was very shy in the beginning, and it's been something that I had to develop over the years. So I want to give some good kind of exercises for us to do, and some stories that I'd like to share about the things that have helped me, and hopefully will help you to become more confident with your art, with life in itself, with your career. Okay, so without further ado, I have this exercise that I recorded. I want to play with you guys. So if you are able to, or if you want to come back later to the stream when you're done, when the stream is done, I'll put on YouTube. You can follow along. Okay, so this is the exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with a blank piece of paper or a blank file to draw on, and we're just going to start drawing. Okay, this is just going to be you're just going to start drawing. Now, what do you draw? It doesn't matter at this point. You're just going to start drawing. Now, this is going to be very important because too many times we kind of stall and we kind of look at the art or we look at the blank page and we are thinking too much, just thinking too much. Think of this as an exercise, okay? This is an exercise to boost your confidence in drawing. This is something that I do. I know it works, so try it out yourself. Just start drawing. It doesn't matter what it is at first. And so I'm just going to start drawing as well, right? What's it going to be? I don't know. I'm just drawing out shapes, thinking about some sort of a creature's head at this point. And so for you, it could be just an eyeball. It could be a fork. It could be a tree. It doesn't matter because what this will do is this is kind of like a warm up for your brain, for your creativity, and a lot of times just getting yourself to just start doing art is one of like the hardest things to do, and it takes you a while, and we end up looking through our Facebook feeds, looking through our whatever, and just stalling, looking through YouTube videos and things like that. Most of us are all guilty of this. So just start drawing, doesn't matter what you're drawing, and expect nothing from your first bunch of sketches. They're going to be bad. Okay, this is just an exercise. If you can keep that in your head, then you're going to do great. Okay, now for those of you that are just joining, we're just going to start drawing. This is going to be an exercise in building up our confidence in drawing. And a big part about building up our confidence in drawing is just really not thinking about whether or not this drawing is going to be good or not. We're just exercising our creativity, our imagination, and just going through this exercise. Okay? And you can see my drawing, it's not that good at this moment. It's just a very plain kind of monkey face? Does it really get, good attention? No. It's very plain, but this is going to be the first of many little sketches that I'll tend to do every morning. Uh, just start sketching. Okay, so what I'd like to do with these streams going forward is keep it topical, keep it like like a regiment, like a group of us that are looking to improve, looking to have great habits, looking to do some great exercises. This is what I want to start off with. I want to start off with the warm up. Okay, and hopefully throughout these weeks, if everybody is into it, which I hope everybody is, then I'm going to introduce other exercises, okay, that we can all kind of do together. And you can watch me as I'm doing them to kind of compare and go, ha ha ha, I'm much better than Bobby. His stuff isn't even that good. Whatever it is. At least it'll build up some confidence in your art and bring some positivity into some people's lives out there. Okay, so like I said, this is not a an art contest here. It really does not matter what you end up drawing at this point, as long as you just start drawing. Just start drawing. Even if you don't know what it is at the moment, just start drawing and think of something to draw. It doesn't have to be epic. It can be just a leaf. It could be a few different kinds of leaves before you start looking into those shapes and start to see other things. Like, what is this? I have no idea. All I'm thinking is a creature bending over, crouching over. What's it doing? I don't know. Does it look good? In my opinion, it looks pretty rough at this point. It's not the nicest thing in the world, but that's how things will start. And hopefully, towards the end of it or towards the middle of all the sketching, I will start to see something, or you will start to see something within your sketches. Get other ideas from these current ideas that you're sketching down. And by the end of the hour, you can have at least maybe one idea that you can kind of go with and expand on. Okay? So it's all about confidence today. And I have my eye on the chat, so feel free to ask me any questions and things like that, and I will try my very best to answer them all. Okay? Now, um, I see a lot of familiar faces out there, so if you don't mind, I would love to give some shout outs to all the people out there. Let me know where you're from, and I'll give you a shout out. I see Brad Goldstein from Toronto. Hey, Brad, how's it going? I see my schoolism student, Jenny Luco, on the stream. Wonderful to see Jenny on there. She's awesome. Been doing really well with your classes and your exercises and everything. So fantastic to see you on here. Kelly Bass, what's up? How's it going? Toby Art. So we got Bulgaria, London, Berlin, Quebec, England, Italy, Netherlands, Nashville, Brazil, Netherlands, all over the place. So good to see you guys. New Hampshire, great. Israel, right on. So you can see, um, you don't even have to finish the sketches really. Czech Republic, Lebanon, right on. You don't even have to finish the sketches really. You can move on to other sketches right away. The whole entire idea is keep your mind going. Keep your mind going in a way where you're constantly trying to visualize things that aren't there. What are the possibilities that can happen here? And as we start sketching down more and more stuff, you'll see as we turn down the opacity and go over it again and things like that, you'll be able to see new things within those sketches that you've drawn. Perhaps the monkey will turn into some sort of a vegetable. Maybe the shapes within it I can see could be some sort of a vegetable growing out of the ground. Who knows? It doesn't really matter at this point. It's all an exercise, okay? And through these weeks, through these streams, I'm going to attempt to make new exercises every time so that all of us you know, wherever we are, we can practice art in a very productive way, and hopefully, many of my own exercises that I do will help you guys, which I have a feeling will because they have helped many students in the past. Okay? One of the biggest problems that I've had as an artist is just starting to draw. What the heck do I draw? And too many times am I too focused on finding good reference, finding good inspiration. Don't worry about that in the very beginning of your day. Just go straight from your imagination and just start drawing things. Now, you might not be able to draw super complex things right now. That's fine. You might just start off with eyes. You might just start off with a hand or whatever it might be. Um, it doesn't matter, okay? Because through practice, you will be able to visualize better. You will be able to see your illustrations better, have to uh, do less rough drawings, get into more kind of shapely drawings right away, things like that. Not that this is extremely shapely, but I feel like I am able to see some really good uh, details in the shapes and things like that that I'm thinking about. Uh, so let's keep going, okay? And one lucky person out there at the end of the stream is going to be uh, winning a free schoolism class, self-taught version of your choice. Uh, just trying to bring some positivity into the world and give somebody out there some top-notch education. Speaking of schoolism, big shouts out to schoolism teachers Robert Kondo and Dice Tsutsumi, nominated for an Oscar this year, and the Oscars are happening this weekend. Super exciting to see them. Super excited to see them on the Oscars, and I wish them the very, very best of luck. They're nominated for um, animated short film for their film The Dam Keeper. And anybody in the world can take classes from these guys. They're brilliant, brilliant artists, former art directors at Pixar. How could you go wrong? So, like I said, I am reading the questions as they come in and things like that. So in the chat, so you could feel free to ask me questions there, or better yet, go to facebook.com/bobby.chiu, Chiu, and you can uh, ask your questions in the comments of the very first post, and I'll see it for sure. Okay. Uh, what I'd like to do here is go to a couple questions that were left earlier on in the week. Okay, so the first one here is, how do you mentally prepare yourself before starting an artwork? Um, like this. And thank you so much for that question, because that question led me to show you this uh, exercise that I do. Okay, what is this right now? Is it kind of like a weird kind of duckfish or something with a tail? I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. Just start drawing and you will see. And I have faith that you will see um, something great in within your sketches by the end of the hour. Just keep your arms moving. Keep that visualizing going, okay? And just keep drawing. So somebody's asking, is there a place to see your stuff online? I think she's talking about Nada. Great. Love to see some stuff as well. Why not? So, how do you mentally prepare yourself before starting an artwork? this is kind of how mentally you gotta get your. I feel like there are muscles in my brain that are specifically for visualizing. And just like muscles in your body, you have to warm them up. So the way that I warm them up is exactly like what you're seeing here. This is how I warm them up. I just concentrate on visualizing. What am I visualizing? It doesn't matter right now. I'm trying to visualize the thing before I put it down, and you should be too if you want to do this the exact same way that I do, is before every line, before every tone, try to visualize at least a little bit of what you want to draw down. Okay? It doesn't matter what it is. This is all an exercise because this is going to help you be able to visualize better and better over time. Okay? If you constantly join me on these streams, play these streams back, draw with me, draw with the video, you'll see that your ability to visualize will get stronger and stronger. If it doesn't get stronger right away, or if you don't notice it getting stronger right away, it might just be because right now you're in the beginning. You're a little bit too much in the beginning of your training to be able to notice the improvements just yet. Visualizing is the most powerful way to think, and therefore it is also the most difficult way to think, um, and to really master. If you can master it completely. Irish Eric, first time checking out Livestream. Right on. Welcome. Good to see you. So, like I said, let's start drawing. If you are able to, just start drawing. And if you can't, definitely come back to this because I want to make these streams, each one, a different kind of thing that you can do to improve a different aspect of art and stuff like that. And kind of like a art coach, kind of like a training ground. So let's get started if you haven't started already. Okay, let's go to the next question here, which is from Megan. She said, my questions are, how do you recover from artistically negative environments or extremely critical feedback? You know, that is such a good question, and I've definitely had my share of artistically negative environments. Have it be fuel for the fire. Okay, first of all, people that let other people make them feel a certain way, it's unnecessary. And I would say in the long run, it's much more powerful if you constantly kind of train to um, kind of step back from how you're feeling and observe how you're feeling and think about why you're feeling that way and how do you want to feel. That person's being a complete jerk. I'm totally in the right. But you know what? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel angry? Do you want to be that person? And then usually when I think about that, I come back to how I want to feel. I want to feel like a positive person that is trying to do good and trying to work hard and trying to better my life by bettering my artistic skills, bettering my career, right? And just focus on that. It doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong, who did you wrong. Sometimes that is the biggest pet peeve. When you feel like you didn't deserve it, but then they're treating you bad, or they think that you did something, but you totally didn't. Those kind of things would, tick off anybody, and we can't let those things affect us because life kind of dealt us all different hands, and some of us have great hands to play with, some of us don't. Some of us start off with, nothing or a bad situation. Okay, so don't let those things affect you. I know it's easier said than done, but that is the truth. That's how we end up overcoming a lot of these things. Okay, now the next part of this is situations that create fear or failure even while just sketching. The place where experimentation and failure are supposed to happen. Oh, okay, are we talking about, I guess we're talking about extremely critical feedback, stuff like that. You know what? Um, my parents, I love them. They're the best parents in the world, but they kept it real. They kept it real with me ever since I was a kid. If something didn't look good, if it didn't look right, you know, my mom would be like the first one to say, is that head too big? I don't know about that perspective, Bobby. I think it's a little off. And I'm like 5, you know? I don't even know what perspective is at the time. So I've always had kind of harsh, extremely critical feedback uh, ever since I was little. And you know what? That's been such a plus to me. You know, I might not have known in the beginning, but thank you, Mom, because that was such a big plus for me. Because what ended up happening was I stopped concentrating on whether or not the drawings I did were good or not. As long as I was trying my hardest, then I know that it's going to lead me to something good. It's going to lead me to becoming good at art or whatever it is. So if I try my hardest, then I'm on the road to success. Okay, and so are you. So stop kind of thinking about dwelling on the criticism and things like that. If you're trying your hardest, only you can tell, only you will know. And that should determine our success because, in the end, what do we want? We want a successful life. We don't want a successful one image, right? Now, just to explain here, you can see that I'm drawing over the monkey face now. Why am I doing that? I turned down the opacity just like I was saying earlier on. Turn down the opacity. Or if you're drawing traditionally, erase a bit over your drawings, let it kind of fade away a little bit, and try to see something within that. So what did I see? I started seeing this shape. I started to go with the shape of the head of the monkey, but I'm trying to picture something else. I'm trying to picture a different kind of head there, a different kind of size there, and things like that, and try and go with it. And you'll see as you keep sketching things down, um, as you just keep drawing and drawing and drawing, you'll start to see new things, new possibilities, new ideas in there, and that's how this exercise works. Okay. Now, last question from Megan was unrelated, but do you have any opinions on an artist using or branding themselves with a nickname or pseudonym? Um, I like it. I think it's really cool. You know, Andrew Jones, that name is really, I'm sure there's a lot of different Andrew Jones out there, but Android Jones, that sounds really cool. That's a great name. Very, very memorable. And once I got used to Android Jones, it's like Andrew Jones um, doesn't even live up to the person, the artist, Andrew Jones. Android Jones kind of lives up to that person's art. Big shout out to Android Jones out there. There's also memorable people that I really remember them mostly just from their pseudonym, like Black Frog, Koro, Knox, all these great ex conceptart.org guys back in the day. Good Brush. Who here knows about Good Brush? I'm sure many of you do. Craig Mullins, right? Godfather of digital art. Um, let's go to some of these questions that I've been getting in the chat there. Do you find these creatures that you create help you to utilize your reference more easily and visualize? I mean, do you find they help create a bank of things you know how to draw, scales for, etc.? Yes, absolutely. A lot of times we copy stuff, but we don't really retain the memories of it. This way, every day, if you're just sketching for the sake of sketching without any reference, you'll start to tap into those uh, references that you've seen in the past and things like that. And then next time you see references, you're going to see, certain things about those references that you're going to consciously try to remember. And that's going to be really, really great as well. So it all kind of ties into this exercise that we're doing together. Okay? Great question. Let's go to the next one. Do you have suggestions for online courses for studying? I am completely biased because I created schoolism.com. Okay, but schoolism.com I feel is the best for online course studying. And I'm saying I feel because really I want to keep it kind of fair, but come on. Really, like I really do feel like schoolism is the best place to learn online because I get the teachers that don't teach anywhere else. For example, Alex Wu teaches gesture drawing at Pixar. The best animation studio on the planet, many people would definitely say. Their gestures and their animation are beyond awesome. And he's the person that teaches the gesture drawing class there. You can't get any better than that. We have people like Nathan Fowkes, who's been in the industry for over 20 years, has taught gave workshops at Blizzard and Blue Sky and all these different places, and he teaches on schoolism. You do not become a chess master from learning from chess amateurs. You have to find the chess masters of the world to get to that level. And schoolism was created because I myself was searching for those chess masters. So the people that I asked to teach on schoolism are people that I consider I would benefit from, from learning from their philosophies, their teachings. Okay, so of course I'm totally biased, but I think I'm totally right as well. Uh, and definitely ask other people. Ask other people. You should see the people that are coming out of, that are doing the exercises and reviewing Dice Tsutsumi and Robert Kondo's class. They are doing such incredible work. And it's not because they're all just born talented and they all happen to take this class. Yes, many of them are talented. But I guarantee you, yes, it's because of how they teach, how they explain what they've learned for years and years and years, and distilling everything that they've learned into something that they can explain to you in just moments. It's like finding that shortcut pipeline in Super Mario Brothers. If everybody played the old school Super Mario Bros, you have these pipes that are secret pipes, and you go in, and all of a sudden you go from level 1 to level 8. Learning from great teachers that can really do great art and can explain it well, man, you can't get any better than that. A lot of times you get that really good information, something clicks, and automatically you're seeing things in a different way. Now imagine this happens all the time. That's what happens when you're taking schoolism classes. A lot of these classes, they take months and months and months to prepare. I feel like the teachers that plan out schoolism classes, they spend the most time out of, all the mainstream online classes that I've seen over the years. But again, I created schoolism, so I'm definitely guilty of being a little biased here. Just check it out yourself, though, and definitely try to find other people that have taken classes, whatever classes you are thinking about, and get their feedback first. This goes for schools, this goes for studios, this goes for everything. Always try to get references because it will help you to avoid traps, to avoid speed bumps, and keep you excelling, in your learning and in your careers. If you hear of a project that has problems, generally you want to steer away from it. Things like this. Same thing with, online art courses. Same thing with colleges. Do your research. Uh, that would be my best advice for you. So, do you save all these sketches and have tons of files stored away? I save most of them. And as you can see, I feel like at this point, while I was sketching this, I felt warmed up. I felt warmed up, so it made it easier and easier to kind of visualize where is this going. So that's why I kept on this sketch. And maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but definitely you will see the same thing happen to you if you practice this, if you watch this video over and over again and you draw along with me. It's just an hour. It's an hour exercise, okay? So next question, do you usually start out sketching creatures, or is there days where you like to draw something out of your comfort zone? Um, Generally, when I'm warming up, I like to stay within my comfort zone. That's because I'm just warming up, and the main thing is when you're warming up, you already are kind of rusty, therefore, you need to warm up. And that's why it's always best to kind of sketch things that are in your comfort zone. I know my buddy Alvin Lee, artist extraordinaire, works at Riot right now, does crazy art, awesome art. I remember him saying one time that one of the common things that he tends to do as a warm up, so he warms up as well, is draw head sketches of Akuma from Street Fighter. So I think many of us do the same thing. I tend to draw all sorts of things um, as I go along, and some days I'll draw maybe a portrait or something like that instead of a creature. But generally, you want to start off with just things that you're very familiar with, an eyeball, a mouth, things like that, and start to slowly, slowly visualize more and more and more. That's the idea here. Okay, so let's see the next question here. Next question. This is not in any particular order. I'm just kind of reading them off as I'm copying and pasting them from the chat there. I know you've mentioned you use Sketchbook Pro for your doodling. Are you using the pencil this whole time in the stream? Are there hotkeys for the brush to eraser? So hotkeys for the brush to eraser, you just flip over the pen. Okay, yes, I am using Sketchbook, Autodesk Sketchbook right now. It's an awesome, program for sketching. They do sponsor the schoolism workshops, but they sponsor them because I've been using Sketchbook Pro since Sketchbook 1, version 1, 10 years ago. So I've always been a big advocator of Sketchbook Pro, and one of their best things that I love Sketchbook Pro for is just their drawing ability. Just sketching out stuff in a wonderfully fluid way, and they keep it simple. So it's not like hardcore painting right now. I'm just drawing. I'm just sketching out things, and it's an affordable product. So big shout out to Sketchbook Pro. Now, and yes, I am using Sketchbook Pro to sketch, or Sketchbook. Now it's just called Sketchbook to sketch out this exercise, because sometimes I just feel like drawing in Photoshop, it feels a little chunky. Not much, but just a little bit, getting fluid lines, making them feel like a pencil, like this one I like. Uh, their pencil tools really do feel like a nice fluid kind of pencil drawing to me. That's how I feel. Okay, so let's go to, and make sure I'm not missing, I know I'm missing a lot of questions at this time. Okay. By the way, big shout outs to Jenny Luco. She's saying that she's taking her second schoolism class, and uh, leveling up is awesome. So many levels to go. Already saving up for the next. And her second class, I'm honored to have her in my class. She's been doing awesome. It's great just drawing over people's stuff and helping them improve. Okay, so let's go to Bill. First time on here. I was wondering if you have any tips for starting a business and how to get clients when you're not well known at all. What a good question. Starting a business, get everything secondhand. Save as much as you can. Keep as much money in the bank as you can, because when you're starting off, you need that. You need that kind of boost, that kind of resources to have the best chance at success. And go nonstop. You gotta go nonstop. If you kind of just picture that you are a rocket ship, okay? Bill, you are a rocket ship, and you need to get out of the atmosphere. Out of the atmosphere equals success. That's what you're built for, right? To get out of the atmosphere, you need to burn like 2/3 of your fuel to get out of the atmosphere. You need to do those 14, 16, sometimes 18-hour days and get real crazy with it in the beginning. Be consistent. Take some time every night to think about how you're going to be the next day. What are you going to do the next day? Think about strategies. Think about where you're going. With what you're doing right now, where is that going to lead you 2 months from now, a year from now? Think about it constantly. Keep evaluating, keep tweaking it, things like that. Okay? Um, how to gain clients, right? I tend to advise, go to places where there's going to be people, where there's going to be that network of artists and art directors and things like that, like Comic-Con, like CTN, like Angoulême, France, if you're interested in European comic books. You know, Internet is also important. It's not just picking one of these things. You got to try to do everything all at once, as many of them as you can, and keep them all consistent. Is that hard? Is that difficult to do? Yes, it's extremely difficult to do. That's the joy of being an artist. That's the joy of life itself. It's tough. But as long as we are trying our hardest and always using our common sense, you're going to do great. Okay, so next question here. Hi, Bobby, how are you? I thought I knew the fundamentals, but I'm having a bit of problems trying to get them down. Is there any way you could write me a list of what they are? That's a great question, Gigi. This is from Gigi Goodman out in California. What's up, Gigi? All right, so fundamentals. How does light work? What are the different kinds of light that we observe in life? What are the different kinds of lighting that we observe in our environment? List down all of them. Start to understand each of them. Why does dusk look different from noon? Why does night look different from, dawn? Things like this. Then you get into things like structure. Structure is a huge part of it. If you kind of think about it, if you kind of think about, okay, um, say you are the average human being, you can see light, you can see color, of course, you can see structure. Okay, and you take away a person's ability to see color. They are completely colorblind. They can still see structure. They can still see light, right? You take away their sight completely. Now they can't see color or light. But can they see structure? Do blind people bump into stuff in their own homes and fall over in their own homes? Not really. No. They have some sort of a map in their heads, right, about where things are. Even though they can't see light or color, I have a very good feeling that they do see some sort of a structures in their head. So what does that mean? That means structure is extremely fundamental. The ability to create things that feel like they're three-dimensional, the feeling that they are structurally sound, that is core. That is absolutely core fundamentals. How do you get structure? You have to visualize, and that's another great way, uh, great reason for this warm up, for this exercise. Concentrate. Try to see that three-dimensional aspect of things. Try to get it so that, a couple of decades ago or something like that, about 15 years ago, there were these popular prints that were just very patterny, had all these patterns on it, and didn't look like anything until you kind of cross your eyes, kind of unfocus a little bit, and then all of a sudden you see this three-dimensional thing that kind of pops out. I relate that kind of thinking to the same kind of thinking, that thinking about creating structural imagery as you're sketching. You want to kind of just try to see it, just unfocus your eyes a little bit, see that three-dimensionality in your drawing. And once you get it, you're going to be like, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying now. Okay, so Ben from the Montreal workshop back in November. What's up, Ben? Do you usually do this warm-up exercise every day, even when working on specific projects? Seems to be very helpful to get the brain pumping. Exactly. You know, when you're working on a project, that's like the equivalent of playing a basketball game for basketball players. Okay, this is the equivalent of doing the warm-ups before you play the game. Everybody does warm-ups. Every hardcore athlete does warm-ups. And as an artist, you kind of have to think about it in the same way. This is your warm-up. Not only that, but this also is a great way to kind of just make sure that you're always doing stuff for yourself. A lot of times when we get really busy with our art, with our jobs, we don't have time to create personal work. So it's really great to have this practice because it forces you to do personal work, all the time. And you might just end up with a doodle, but it might be a great idea that you can come back to later on. And that happens to me constantly. It's always great to have a backup of all these great ideas that you'd love to do at some time or another. Sometimes, and I know many of the painters out there know this, sometimes when you're painting something and you develop the idea, okay, great, and you start rendering it, you start doing all this, all that, and it takes a while, and once you're done, it's hard for you to get back onto the horse and start doing something new. Well, if you're constantly doing this practice that we're doing today, just this brainless sketching until it turns into something cool, or even if it doesn't turn into anything cool, it doesn't matter. It's just brainless sketching, sketching out ideas. You will constantly be adding more ideas to your, idea bank than you can actually paint. And that's a great thing. Then you'll never, ever be out of ideas. Okay? So, do you recommend, or do you have any books to recommend for beginners at creature design? Terrell Whitlatch. Two words for you. Terrell Whitlatch. Uh, Creature designing expert. She is a ninja, and she has these wonderful books. Um, Animals. What's it called? It's called Animals Real and Imagined. Okay, by Terrell Whitlatch. Fantastic book because it not just shows you awesome animal drawings. It doesn't just show you awesome imagined animal drawings, but it also shows you the musculature of many, many different animals, um, many, many diagrams that help to explain just visually. You don't even have to understand English. That will help explain what the heck is happening under all of that fur. Because you got to think there's so much anatomy that we don't really see, especially in furry animals, which is why I like drawing furry animals because it's challenging. You have muscles, you have bones, you have muscles, you have fat that goes over top of the muscles that help to kind of disguise what's happening down there. And then you have skin, which can create all these folds and all this stuff that will disguise or kind of make it even harder to figure out the anatomy. And then you have the fur on top of that. And if it's really furry, if it's really furry, it could totally mislead you. Like if you ever seen a fluffy cat before it falls in the water, and then after it falls in the water, it looks like two completely different animals. It's a great, great book to for beginners and for experts to start off with. Big shout out to Katie Jackson. Right on. Good to see you in here, Katie. Let's see. Just want to make sure I get all of the questions here. Okay, I hope you guys are doing some awesome drawings right now. let's get to some of these questions. And if I missed any questions along the way, I apologize. Okay, I'm trying to copy them as much as I can, then I got to read them and then answer them. So, next question. Can you give any tips for starting? Okay, I went to that, starting a business. How do you decide if a piece of work is worth putting in a portfolio or not? Because usually people say different things about my work, and sometimes it can be confusing. Um, put in what you're passionate about. Put in the things that talk about you as a person. So if you love baseball, you love sports, then maybe you don't want to just put in baseball drawings, but definitely put in some illustrations about sports and things like that. It might just lead to really cool opportunities doing stuff for sports events. The here are the portfolios that I completely forget about right away. It's the ones that are very much like it just looks like an assortment of just random stuff. And it might be all drawn very well, and many times it is drawn very well, but it's just so random. I don't know what the person is passionate about. And everybody loves to everybody loves to work with passionate people. How can you not? People that really care about what it is that they're drawing. Okay, Bill has some awesome questions. Let's go another Bill question, which is, do you have any conversational tips, such as how to network properly and not come off the wrong way? I sometimes find that at times I'm either too excited or too shy. Okay, if you're shy, if you feel really shy, just say it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't try to kind of disguise it or anything. I just say, okay, you know what? I'm not usually like this, but I'm really shy at this moment because I really love your stuff. And then go into whatever you're going to say. Try not to say a million things about yourself when you meet somebody. I had this person come from another country to come and visit me. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, we'll come and I just so happened to have some time that day, met up with them, and the person couldn't stop showing me their work. So you're coming here all this way so that I could just look at your work. That's really nice for you, but obviously that's not going to resonate with me because it just feels like, um, I'm definitely honored, but it's not as fun. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about maybe if you had any questions for me or something like that. Um, Generally, people like, I've had okay, people like to talk about themselves. Let's just put it out there. A lot of people, they just like to talk about themselves. And for example, I was talking to somebody, they weren't an artist, but I forget what the person was doing. They were helping me with something. But anyways, I was just talking to them. I was talking to them about themselves, asking them every single question about themselves. And at the end of the conversation, next time I saw the person was introducing me and was saying, "Yeah, we had this really great conversation the other day." You know, Yeah, we had a really good talk the other day. Was it much of a conversation? It was pretty much me asking them about themselves, and you know, that's the whole entire topic was just themselves. And in their minds, it was great. It was funny because they were like, "We had the best conversation the other day," which felt like back and forth, but it really wasn't. Which is cool, because either way, they enjoyed the company. That person enjoyed the company, and that's great. Okay, Everton. I have a lot of problems trying to find the most appropriate technique for me and for the style I'll get from. my life. Wow. How do you decide that you'll draw in this style like you're drawing today? Everton, style. Okay, where does style come from? It comes from knowledge. It comes from a huge collection of knowledge. And as you keep learning, your style should generally keep evolving. A lot of times it doesn't evolve because the thing that the practices that got the person there to that level to have a nice established style, they stop. They stop doing those practices, and that's a shame. They stop because they get busy, because now they're successful and now they get lots of jobs and things like that. But my suggestion to you is stop looking for your style, Everton. Just look for knowledge. Knowledge will soon shape your style once you get enough knowledge. Okay, and the knowledge that you should go for first is fundamentals, the fundamentals of life. Those are the building blocks that we build everything on top of to create wonderful styles and things like that. Wonderful styles that last the test of time, I feel, are the ones that are highly based on fundamentals. Okay, so which courses are you taking now? Okay, that's for Jenny. Um, Can you talk about the differences between drawing from the shoulder and drawing from the wrist? My digital setup is a medium table, and I'm thinking drawing analog and then scanning in for digital paintings. Thoughts? So, Jim, great question. People say you always want to draw with your whole entire arm. Um, I agree to some extent, but I also disagree to some extent. I don't feel like you should draw with your whole entire arm if you're doing hours and hours and hours of work. Like I developed really bad arm problems before because I was drawing with my whole entire arm for 16 hours a day kind of thing. Like all day, every day for years. I developed really bad arm problems, as many of you know, that I struggled with for years. Um, the way that I got out of that was I flattened my Cintiq. So no longer was I drawing with my Cintiq up, so I'm using my whole entire arm. I flattened it out, got a secondary monitor, and I put the image on that monitor as well. So I just sketch really with my forearm at a 90 like parallel to the ground, right? 90 degrees from my body, which is up straight, keeping that kind of nice, less strenuous posture has really, really helped me so much with battling the problems that I had with my arm. Okay. Uh, then when I want to draw very in-depth stuff, very precise things, then I can just look down, look at the screen, look at the Cintiq screen, and then get everything absolutely accurate. That has been the thing that has really changed my life this last year or so, and my arm's gotten a lot better. Okay, another little thing that we're doing here is I want to mention for anybody that is even thinking about coming to a schoolism workshop, I gotta tell you about these workshops that are coming up because they are bonkers. They are bonkers. We got March 14th, 15th, Carla Ortiz. She's working for Marvel Studios right now. If you love the Marvel movies, hey, she's one of the concept artists working on the Marvel movies. I was talking about Alex Wu, the one of the amazing Pixar artists out there, and he's the one that teaches gesture drawing at Pixar. He will be coming to Montreal. He's a story artist, and he'll be teaching his methods of story. Then we have Paul Lazane, insane Paul Lazane. He is one of those very, very, very few people that I would totally call a master level artist. And I doubt many people would disagree. If you just look up his name, Paul Lazane, holy smokes, his credit list, his portfolio is out of this world. Completely amazing. He's going to be teaching 3 different painting techniques in his workshop. 3 different killer painting techniques. He's going to be painting 3 paintings for us in like 3 or 4 hours. Incredible. And then from there we have, and let me just mention, Carlo Ortiz never did a Montreal workshop. Alex Wu never been to Montreal, I don't think. Paula Zane never been to Montreal. Christophe Lautrette, production designer on Crudes, you know, artist extraordinaire, extreme amount of credits from his time at DreamWorks. What's a production designer? Designer at DreamWorks is higher than art director. He's the person, anything dealing with visuals, he's the person at the very top working side by side with the director. Amazing lineup. But it doesn't stop there. After that, these are just great reasons to come to Canada, by the way, people. After that, we have Toronto, March 28th, 29th. We're going to have Brenda Chapman, Oscar award winning director, co-director of Brave, co-director of Prince of Egypt, huge story master, the only woman to ever be in the brain trust of Pixar. Incredible, incredible person. She's going to be doing a workshop with her husband, another incredible director, one of my favorites to work with, Kevin Lima, director of Tarzan, director of Enchanted, has done live action and animated. Both of them are directors. They're both going to be here in Toronto doing a workshop for the very first time, maybe the last time. You know, there's going to be Steven Silver, one of my best buds and artist extraordinaire. He's going to be there. We're going to have Mingju Chen, Helen Mingju Chen, one of the hottest artists out there right now. Art director from Paramount. First time in Toronto doing a workshop. That's going to be insane as well. And then we're going to have Sam Nielsen. Half scientist, half artist practically. He is going to be there as well. You know, so Toronto, holy smokes. Montreal, crazy. You know, both of them. And then after that, April, we're heading to Calgary, Alberta. April, we're going to do a workshop there that we're going to announce very soon. And it's going to have Steven Silver. It's going to have Nathan Fowkes, one of the most popular artists on Schoolism right now. And we're going to have Stanley Artgerm Lau from Singapore. Stanley's work is breathtaking. He is a cover artist for DC Comics. He does a tremendous amount of illustrations for all like the coolest projects, and he's coming all the way from Singapore to go to Calgary, Alberta to do a workshop for us down there. So hey, don't miss out. I'm telling you, if you are ever thinking of traveling, do it. Because you know what? I say this as one of my, kind of mottos for life. You don't have to just take what I'm saying and accept it. I suggest that you don't. Suggest that you use your brain and think about it. You ask people. You find out other people's experiences, stuff like that. You know, Then after you do all that research, you think about it, use your common sense. If you don't agree, then that's fine. But the people that do agree that this might be a good idea, or that might be the thing that will raise you to that next level, you have to do it. If it makes sense to you, I implore you to do it. Because too many of us know what we need to do to help us get to that next level in life, but we don't do it because of procrastination, because of whatever else. Okay? Just commit to it. Go and do it. That is my advice to you. Okay? And I hope you take it. So, let's see here. Are any of these workshops available online? No, because the whole entire, it's great learning from all these people. It's great. It's amazing. It's inspiring learning from all these people. I'm inspired as well every time. But it's even better being there at the event, meeting them, talking with them. You know, after we do the workshops that Saturday night, we have a party. It's a nice little party where everybody can come, meet the instructors, ask them questions, things like that, and really, it's all about the networking as well. It's all about the whole experience that you can't replicate just online. Okay, so gotta come out. Kelvin asks a great question. I hope you can read this here. The Schoolism Workshop, is it coming to Brazil this year? We're working on it. I love Brazil. I love the people in Brazil. I miss you guys dearly, and we're working on it. Brazil is a little harder because we have to deal with the whole thing with visas and getting all the teachers to get their visas in time and things like that. It gets very complex. It gets very tricky. Okay? When coloring these, do you retain the sketchy lines to retain your original energy, or do you cover everything with color layers? So when I'm painting, it depends. This, I kind of like the sketchiness of this, so I'd probably just keep it sketchy. Now, if I wanted to redo this and add a background and all that stuff, I would probably just redo it. You know, I might keep some of the things from the sketch. So I might keep the sketch, lower the opacity, just merge everything, and lower the opacity and just paint it all up. Um, but yeah, when I am going for something painterly, I will cover every inch of that in paint. So are, none of the lines actually survive in the very end. Okay, so we are, before I knew it, we're at the end of the hour. So I hope you guys liked the stream. I wanted to award somebody with a free Schoolism class or Schoolism workshop all access pass to either Toronto, Montreal, um, yeah, to either Toronto or Montreal. Those are the ones that are up right now. So, uh, if anybody would like to get their pass, come to the workshops, go to schoolism.com. Schoolism, ISM.com. Okay, and you can get more info on there. Um, Here we go. I'm going to look for. Okay, so this time what I'm doing is to kind of reach as many people as I can. I went to Facebook and I asked people to share. I went to Twitter, asked them to share. Went to Instagram, asked them to share. So I'm going to randomly choose one of these three kind of outlets and then I'm going to pick a winner. Okay, so let's see who the winner is going to be here. Today I am going to Today, I think I'm going to go to Twitter. Okay, so random selection, Jamie Ray Slater. Jamie Ray Slater. Are you online? Hope you are. I'm going to look for you. And you just won a free, either a free class, okay, from Schoolism, any self-taught class that you want, or a free workshop all access pass. All right, so hopefully you will enjoy that and big congratulations. Hopefully you will get the most out of that and let's do this again. Okay, let's do this again. Let's do this next week. Stay in touch with the Chiustream fan page or just go to facebook.com/bobby.chiu and I'll post when the next stream is going to be. Or actually, I guess the easiest would be just to follow me on Livestream. Okay? Yeah, that is totally the easiest way. So just follow me on Livestream, and next, I just got to sort out my schedule, and I want to do this again. New exercise next time, and let's keep it going. Okay? So thank you everybody for tuning in. It was great talking with everybody and answering all the questions and showing you some of these exercises. Hope to see many of you in Montreal or Toronto or Calgary. All right, take care and have a great, great day.